Hello, Surfline.
Was it 43,
30.
40?
This girl was quite a fisherman. She fished with her father. This is 65, and you'll see that we don't have the big quantity or large quantity of fish come in. It'd be like 1 or 2.
Well, when I first started taking people, I guaranteed fish so they wouldn't have to pay. And I never got skunked. We've had some good days. We caught plenty of them. They were big fish.
Yeah.
It was a long time ago. I don't like that anymore.
When I started striped bass fishing, there was no striped bass around. You could not. It took me 4 years to catch my first striped bass and fishing every day.
Well, it's hard to say. There seem to be a few of them, but no quality, no big fish. I mean, we catch a half a dozen in the summer that are over 40 inches. We used to get that in a week.
4 seasons ago was really sad here. The fishing was nothing like it had been prior to. Ever since the 2000s, it's been a pretty steady downslope.
But in '68, we got the state record up in the river here. A friend of mine caught it in my boat. It was 60 pounds. And we caught a lot back then in that summer. 53, 56, 50 pounders, mid-50s. That was about the last year we saw those big ones come in.
You can see in the decline and how many we had, and then how many years we went without any big fish over 50.
It has since dropped off again a little bit. You know, a lot of people keeping fish. The Chesapeake Bay's had some disease. The numbers definitely declined.
The problem is, partially man-made, why the stripers are struggling, and their breeding, which that's partially man-made. Issues causing lack of breeding, and their preferred breeding grounds aren't as healthy as they once were.
Right now, my biggest bitch is that I don't think these sewer treatment plants that we have on the rivers are doing any good. They put the treatment plant in, and the following year there was absolutely no worms, no clams, nothing.
Feed, which goes back to human intervention. So much with human intervention, actually all of it is. Just like any species, they're going to have ups and downs, and when there's a lot of bait, there won't be as many stripers, and when there's a lot of stripers, they eat all the bait population, so it just kind of, it's like anything else. But the human factor in it is the big part.
I do think there was a couple bad years, the breed class down in the Chesapeake. A lot of times a disease, but the regulations have been a big thing. They're still overfished, commercial fisheries. These guys down in Virginia are still getting busted for, gill netting these fish, and they're killing hundreds and hundreds of fish at a time. And it's been a conflict, and it always will be, the recreational angler against commercial guys. Luckily in Maine, there is no commercial fishery, but you go down in Mass and there is.
And it makes no sense. It's like, what are you doing with all that fish?
Back then, I don't even know what the regulations were, because nobody was catching them, no one was paying attention, and everybody kept everything.
I don't think there's any plankton, and that's what they feed on. Well, if you don't get any plankton in the thing, you're not going to have any fish. You're not going to have any little fish growing up to be bigger fish and so forth.
When the government ran it, it had to be 36 inches. You could go in any cove, and every fish you saw, every cove you went to, all the fish were all 36 or better. And then when they put it in the hands of the states, they dwindled right down quick. It took about 2 years, and they were gone.
Some of the commercial boats were allowed to keep 40 fish, I think it was, but they got to keep the 40 biggest ones they caught. So they'd have 40 on the boat, but they'd still be fishing. They'd be like, oh, this one's bigger than that one. They'd throw a dead small one back in the water. They're killing fish all day long to try to get the 40 biggest. They're getting paid by the pound, so they want the biggest fish. Those are the breeders, and Maine's regulations have changed a lot over the years. I used to like it better the way it was than now because we actually kill more fish than we used to.
I don't think there's one thing that is just going to fix everything. A big part of it's politics.
And I think they should go to a slot limit, almost mirror what the redfish fishery is down south, because the redfish fishery was commercially fished and it was brought to the point of extinction or endangerment, and then they made it a non-commercial fishery with very strict limits on what you can keep with a slot limit. So their breeding fish are released, unlike our breeding fish are more so harvested. Have a maximum boat limit that they can only keep 2 stripers with a slot limit, so it'd be 28 to 36 inches. I won't let the customers keep a fish over 36 inches.
I love the slot limit because, one, if I wanted to grill a fish, I thought those, you know, you get a 24-inch fish, that's a real nice eating size fish, not a breeder yet. As far as clients on the boat, you know, they go, nah, I don't need to keep that, and they throw it back. But now you get a 35-inch fish, which you used to have to throw back, and people go, well, you gonna let that go? But now they're going, geez, I'd like to take this home, show it to mom, and I've yet to go to be a no-kill boat, you know, so I do let people keep their one fish.
Yeah.
And, you know, you get a 30-inch fish, it's usually coming home now, when we used to let all those go. We'll try to let people know, all right, this is a 45-inch fish, we want to let this one go because it's going to lay the most eggs. So I do try to get people to release the fish.
About 93, numbers of stripers really started coming back.
Each year, very much so, you know, they were recovering quite nicely. It was amazing fishing. That decade, pretty much 90, somewhere in the early 90s to the 2000s, the fishing was amazing.
And it was literally 100 fish a tide. I mean, you catch fish till your thumbs are bleeding.
Pools of them, you would go into certain areas and spook them.
So I've seen it go from bad to awesome, back down to bad, and back to awesome. Oh, working its way back, hopefully to awesome with a bumper crop we had last year of fish.
And now we're seeing, you know, last year's piles and piles of small fish, you know, little 10, I've never seen them so small. Schools of, 500 fish. And but very small ones. So to me, it looks like it's going to get a lot better in the next couple of years. And time will tell.
Little tweaking in the conservation to get an excellent body of stripers available for quite a long time.
I've always grown up doing it. I mean, you know, my dad got me into fishing when I was a little kid, and I've always liked it. And I don't know, like I started trout fishing, and it's still fun. I mean, catching a trout's fun.
Yeah.
But to hook into something that wants to take the pole out of your hands, you know, a trout's not going to take the pole from your hands. A striper, when you hook onto it and it starts ripping line, you know you've got a good fish because you can kind of hold the line for a second, especially on a fly rod, and all of a sudden it just starts going zit, 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 zit. And you're going, oh, this is a good one. I mean, you got to hold on to the pole. I got just a thing for big fish. You know, it's hard to go back and